Today, we're talking about the HaleyyBaylee situation and how the former model turned content creator has been called out in a 3-part TikTok series where another creator, Jamie Stone, exposes her for knowingly platforming a terrible person, with Jamie explaining this man's history of manipulative behavior, which includes ongoing cheating and lying about having an incurable STD. But I pulled together all of the details and context you need to know, so by the end of the video, you can get caught up on all of the HaleyyBaylee TikTok drama. Today's story was sent to me by Benny, Avery, and Finley. If you ever come across something you think I should cover, don't hesitate to DM me on Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok. And if you want to catch the next story I cover, please consider subscribing. But even if you don't, thank you so much for watching. Now, let's just get into it. This is HaleyyBaylee, a former American model turned social media celebrity. And to understand some of the context behind the recent drama, we need to quickly discuss another controversy that Haley caused back in May of this year, which revolved around this TikTok that Haley uploaded on May 8th. In the video, she's attending the Met Gala, dressed up like Marie Antoinette, and lip-syncing to a TikTok sound that says the phrase, "let them eat cake."
Let them eat cake.
Who took the bomb?
This video stirred up backlash online for a couple reasons. First, the phrase "let them eat cake" was used by Queen Marie Antoinette in response to being told that her starving peasant subjects had no bread. So Haley's video using this phrase at the Met Gala only came across as a celebrity being out of touch with the average person's life and seemingly not caring about it. The other reason this video came across as tone deaf was due to mass war protests happening just outside the event. By the following day, TikTok was calling for the boycott of celebrity content, starting with Haley.
Let them eat cake.
It's time for the people to conduct what I want to call a digital guillotine, a digitine if you will. It's time to block all the celebrities, influencers, and wealthy socialites who are not using their resources to help those in dire need. We gave them their platforms. It's time to take it back, take our views away, our likes, our comments, our money, by blocking them on all social media and digital platforms. And I think the first person that we should all focus on is Haley here. HaleyyBaylee, for your ignorant decision to attend the $75,000 ticket Met Gala and recite "let them eat cake" while you have done nothing with your 10 million follower platform as people are starving and dying, we sentence you to the digitine.
Vive la révolution.
This sentiment spread quickly across Twitter and TikTok, which forced Haley to post this 9-minute apology video the next day on May 9th.
Hey guys, I know what a lot of you guys want from me right now is answers, and I want nothing more than to give them to you. So, about a week and a half before the Met Gala, I was contacted by E to see if I had any interest in being a pre-Met Gala host. There are usually 3 hotels that celebrities leave from to go to the Met Gala. I was stationed at what's called the Mark. I was supposed to do content with celebrities and on air about their departures to the Met. The Met is one of the most exclusive events in all of fashion. You have to be handpicked by Anna Wintour herself to go. That's the only way that you get there. I was not invited by Anna Wintour. I did not hold an actual invitation to the Met Gala. I was involved only as a host, meaning that the moment that the last attendee left the hotel, I went home and I watched the Met Gala coverage from my couch with my friends.
We're not going to watch the whole thing, but I'll break down what she says using an article from The Independent about this situation. While addressing the backlash, she says that she would have never used the audio snippet if she knew it would offend viewers, noting that the popular audio had been trending on TikTok and has been used in more than 110,000 videos. She pointed out that the audio received no negative feedback when used by makeup artists to showcase their Marie Antoinette-inspired makeup looks, and claimed it truly had no deeper meaning to the audio. And as an apology, she adds, "I never would have chosen a sound on purpose to highlight wealth disparity or elitism. I never even thought it would be taken in that way, because I wasn't elite enough to even be invited to the Met Gala, because I'm not elite. I'm a normal person. My dumb self just used an audio that I thought was viral and trending and that people recognized from the Marie Antoinette 2006 movie." I didn't think that much into it, and for that, I am so sorry. I did not do my due diligence. I'm so stupid because the things going on in the world today are weighing heavily on everyone's hearts. Innocent men, women, and children are dying. People do not have access to food and water. People are being kicked out of their homes. There are so many things going on in this world that are just wrong. Towards the end of the video, she wraps up by saying, "Sometimes I am dumb and sometimes I mess up. Sometimes I don't correctly anticipate how people will react or feel to something. And for that, I am truly so sorry. It breaks my heart that a video I posted has made anyone feel less seen or less heard. It is my job as a content creator to apologize whenever I make anyone feel unseen or unheard, even if it's unintentional. Just know that no matter what, I love you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for watching this whole video if you made it this far." But now that we're caught up on that recent situation involving Haley, we can get into the even more recent drama, and how Haley is being called out in a 3-part TikTok series for continuing to platform an alleged abuser. This all began after a video from the creator Jamie Stone. The video was posted on July 12th, and the text overlay says, "When you warn an influencer about the guy in her recent TikToks, talk to her for hours about how he traumatized you. She agreed he was a bad guy. Then she stops responding, doubles down on posting him because it gets her views. And now she is under fire for her new series, where she lies about her fake relationship with billionaire boyfriend, making a mockery out of women who have come forward about their real abusive relationships." Jamie went on to explain the situation in greater detail the next day on July 13th, in a 3-part TikTok series, which I'll break down here. The first part is over 9 minutes long, and Jamie starts by saying this.
"Who the did I date series, a real one, not a fake one, with a little twist."
According to an article by Distractify about the situation, Jamie saying "a real one, not a fake one" is a reference to fans accusing Haley of lying about her former boyfriend in her now deleted Who the F Did I Date TikTok series. She goes on to explain that.
The reason that I am doing this is not because I prey on her downfall or anything like that. It's not about that. It is purely because I reached out to her about this very bad man that she's continuing to give a platform to, like single-handedly giving a platform to. He didn't have a platform before she came in the picture. She has been putting him in her videos, helping him make his own TikToks, helping him get millions of views on his videos, and this man is a danger to society. Let me rephrase that. He's a danger to women, okay? Lots of women. Girls, young girls.
After this, Jamie describes the man she's been referring to, whose name is Kyle Vieira.
So it's a typical cliche: liar, cheater, manipulator, emotionally abusive. Very toxic relationship. I was an amazing girlfriend to him. I did nothing to deserve the treatment that I got. Not that anyone does something to deserve that. And while those are very important and hold a lot of weight, the reason why I feel compelled to say these things and make a video about it, which I, trust me, have gone back and forth about a million times, because I don't want to like stir the pot. I don't want to cause a bunch of drama. I really, really don't. But I also feel a responsibility to women to let them know what this man is capable of. Because even through posting that last video, multiple women have come forward to me with their own stories about him. And it just further proves what I already know to be true, just how many women he sleeps with in New York City and doesn't tell them something very important.
She then goes on to talk about a situation that happened 6 months into their relationship, where Jamie could tell that he was cheating on her, but then when she went looking for proof after he ditched her on Valentine's Day, she discovered something far, far worse.
I was over at his apartment and I was convinced that he was cheating on me again, because he cheated on me a lot, and I always caught him talking to girls, looking at girls, being really inappropriate. The list goes on. And I was convinced that he was lying about being out of town on Valentine's Day. We talked earlier on the phone. He said he had to go out of town for a job, and I was really upset and crying on the phone. He told me, you know, nothing he could do about it, blah, blah, blah. He kind of called me out of the blue too. He was like, "Oh my God, my agent just booked this job for me," and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, what? It's Valentine's Day, what the hell? And so I was like, okay, understanding, whatever, go do your thing. But I was noticing some weird things on his story that kind of seemed like he was actually still in town and didn't leave till the next day. And I was asking him about it, but he was obviously just like lying to my face. And whenever he got back into town, I was over at his place, I saw a plane ticket on his dresser. He went downstairs to take out the trash and do some other things. I look at the plane ticket, and literally he definitely left the next day. He was in town on Valentine's Day. So I was like, oh, okay, this man's cheating on me again, lying to my face per usual. Like, I start snooping around his apartment to find dirty condoms to try to like prove it, because I know he's gonna lie to my face, and I know I need to have some sort of proof, right? So I start digging through his trash, which I know is insane, but I'm like, I need to find this proof. And instead of finding dirty condoms, I actually found a bunch of pill bottles with the name of the medication and his name scratched out on all of them. And I was like, that's weird. Why are you scratching out pill bottles? So he actually missed the name of the medication on one of the bottles, so then I was able to Google it. And I found out what exactly it was for, and it was for a certain thing that you can spread via intimacy. And obviously he and I had been intimate because we were dating. Needless to say, my heart sank. I was terrified because not only am I like, oh my God, this man's cheating on me again, already super upset about that. Then I'm like, oh my God, this man has this and I have been intimate with him. What the is going on? He's about to come back upstairs and I'm like what am I supposed to do right now? I'm like, do you have this thing? And he's like, no, lies to me again. And I'm like, dude, do you know that if I'm sitting here asking you about it and we continue to be intimate, that you can literally go to prison because that is illegal? And then that's whenever he actually breaks down and tells me the truth. So then, of course, it's a whole sob story after that. And he is now the victim in the scenario. Yeah, I have to go to urgent care by myself. I'm crying in the doctor's office because I cannot believe that I have been intimate with someone who I thought cared about me, who didn't give me any opportunity to consent to something like that, didn't let me weigh in on the decision making and the safety protocols, and just didn't really give a about me and my safety. And I knew that. And I think that's why it hit so deep, is that if I have this thing that is going to change my life, I got it from someone that could give a less about me. Obviously, over the next few days, it was hell waiting for the results. And thank God I was like clean. And I want to say, I do not judge anyone that has this. I understand that 1 in 5 people have it. Like, I totally get that. But I do think if you have it, it is your responsibility to tell people you're going to be intimate with. They have a right to consent to that. That's what I believe. And the women that I've spoke to about this thus far, that I have seen my previous video, believe the same thing. And I can only imagine how many women out there have been with him and have no idea what they've been exposed to.
Jamie then explains the first time she noticed Haleigh with Kyle, saying that she reached out in order to warn Haleigh about him.
So fast forward, I'm just like sitting in my bed a few weeks ago, scrolling through TikTok, and then on my For You page, I see Haleigh getting spun around the streets of New York City with him. And I'm like, no way. Of course, knowing what I know, I'm immediately like, okay, what the hell do I do right now? Regardless of how anyone feels about her, I still felt I needed to protect her from getting that. I don't think anyone deserves that. So Haleigh and I actually do sort of know each other. We went on a trip together with this magazine a few years ago. It was actually right after Kyle and I broke up, which is so funny, like the full circle of it all. And we never necessarily became friends, but I just felt like it was my obligation to tell her and warn her, because I knew that he wasn't telling her this. I mean, look at my own experience. I was in 6 months with him and he still didn't tell me. So I DM'd her and I was like, girl, the guy in your recent videos has this. This is how I found out. She replies almost immediately and is like, oh my God, no way. She's freaking out. She can't believe it. I'm telling her more information, other things about him, about who he is as a person, and the ways that, he was just a really bad guy to me in the relationship, just to get the full picture. She's super receptive and she says, I'm a girl's girl. Like, I believe women. I believe you, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, wow, that's so cool. Like, I'm so happy that she's so open to this and she's not just being defensive. And I said that to her and I thanked her for not being defensive. Then she goes on to just, thank me and like, I never would have known, like, you saved me, blah, blah, blah. And she says she's about to confront him. I was like, okay, well, I'm here if you need to ask me any questions, like I can confirm anything, because I'm assuming he's probably about to lie to her a lot.
The story continues in part 2, where Jamie talks about what happened once Haleigh starts sharing her experience with Kyle.
She confronts him and I don't really hear from her for the rest of the night. And then the next morning I wake up to a DM from her and she's like, hey, here's my number, by the way, text me. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I text her. And so she just starts profusely thanking me. Oh my God, you're a lifesaver. You saved me. Thank you so much. You really helped me dodge a bullet. Meanwhile, let me preface that the whole time that I was telling her this information via DM, that she kept saying that they were just friends and that he was heavily pursuing her, but she wasn't interested in him. So she was also very oh my God, what the because this guy was trying to date her, pursue her, and not telling her this information. So she was like, what? We're going back and forth at this point. I start sending her voice memos. She starts sending me voice memos. this like camaraderie, men are awful, girl power moment. I'm telling her a bunch of like really detailed stories about like what this man did to me, and they're horrific. Like I spent hours talking to her, and it's not like I'm talking to myself here, okay? She is talking to me a lot. She is clearly wanting to like vent to someone and go through this with someone, and I am happy to do it. And she's like, oh God, I have one more video left to post with him. I'm like, you know, I get it. I don't really see the need to post a video with him. It was just like a little video about them eating snacks together. But if, you know, it's her work, and if she feels like she needs to post it because she worked for it, like, then okay, I get it. And then she was like, yeah, but then I'm going to start making content that's like men are trash and unfollow him. So like my followers are going to know.
Jamie goes on to say that Haley's brand of content is typically creating speculation about whether or not she's with the guys that she features in her videos. So Jamie doesn't hold it against her, explaining that Haley also had a similar interaction with Kyle regarding him lying about having an STD. And she fully expected Haley to be on board with exposing Kyle's behavior. However, despite tons of validation that they were on the same page, Jamie explains this situation happening, where Haley made a complete 180.
A few days goes by, I haven't talked to her, you know, I'm giving her space, I don't want to be all up in her. Then she randomly at like 1 a.m. in the morning posts a video with him like in the street, like twirling around again. Pops up on my For You page, heart sinks, per usual. And I'm like, wait, what? And I'm like, surely it's an old video, and she just has nothing to post, so she's just posting it. And so she DMs me on TikTok, and she's like, don't worry, it's an old video. And I was like, oh, okay, I kind of figured. I was like, you know, how are you doing, by the way? And then she's like, oh, you know, I'm doing good. It actually just didn't affect me at all. Like, I don't see men that way. I just see them as coworkers. And I kind of talked about it, like, it kind of seemed like her vibe was changing a little bit. And I was like, why does she keep talking like this? Saying like, oh, men are just coworkers. I'm like, okay. And then I found out later on it's because she was prepping me for all of the content she was about to post with him. So the next day, another video, another video, another video, another video. I'm so confused. Why are you posting him like this? I don't understand. I thought we were in total agreement that this is a bad man who does not need a platform and does not need more access to women. You know my stories. You have your own stories. It's not like you're just having to trust me on it, and you're still posting him. And then she posts a video where she actually tags him. And I'm like, oh, so you're tagging him now. So I DM her, I'm like, why are you tagging him? Like, please, for the love of God, do not prop this man up. He's the last person that needs to be propped up. I was like, is this like your bestie now? Like, what's going on, girl? And she's like, no, like, he's not my bestie, but like, we do film content together. And I had a really, really, really long talk with him. And I made him sign like something contractually to like make sure that like he would be if he ever did anything. And at that point, I'm just like, oh, here we go. Basically, I saved you. And I told you about what he has, and you were so thankful to me and said I saved you 1,000,000 times, and you were just so thankful. But now, because this man is at your beck and call for content, and it's good for you to have someone to make all this content with, now you're saved and you can just friend zone him. But now he's just out there getting more recognition. More girls are going to be curious about him. He's already getting written about, you know, across different platforms. All of your followers are going to his page, wondering who he is, saying, oh my God, I can't wait till you're famous, blah, blah, blah. And you're doing all that just so you can have someone to film content with? And what? You made him sign some sort of contract that's gonna do what? He say he can never sleep with someone ever again?
Jamie wraps up part 2 by saying that now, since Haley's equipped with the knowledge of how dangerous Kyle is, it's her responsibility to not promote him in videos again and again, which only expands his platform and puts more women in danger. Jamie continues in part 3 by talking about how Haley began switching up on her and ignoring any signs of proof that she had sent previously.
I'm sending her the receipts, I'm sending her what I can send her, and she's like, do you have any more proof? And I'm just like, for what, dude? What the else do you need to know from me? I don't really have any other proof besides my truth, what I just explained to you and everything we talked about. And then she just stops responding to me. That was the last thing I said to her. And that was it. That was it. She did not talk to me again. This was a few weeks ago. She has just been posting him like crazy, like crazy. It's unbelievable. And helping him make so much content. I can tell that she's the one behind the content that he's making. She's doing POVs from his account and from her account. So it's like people are speculating on both accounts. It's just really weird. It's really weirdo behavior, if you ask me.
After this, she describes a TikTok that Haley and Kyle made together, which seems to mock the manipulative behavior that Jamie used to deal with during their relationship.
One video that was extra disturbing to me was the video where she's like, guys, whenever you catch them liking a girl's photo, and they're both like cosplaying as guys, like getting caught liking photos. So she's like, bro, like I swear I didn't even like know that was her. I didn't even mean to like it. And then it switches to him. And then he's sitting there and saying his little part of the skit, which to me is very real. And you know the kind of man he was to me. So not only do you know these things, not only are you still posting him, but then you're making a video that makes me relive a relationship with him to a degree that's actually insane and like Black Mirror kind of. Because I'm seeing with my eyes this man say the same things he used to say, and it's a joke and she thinks it's funny. And my opinion of her totally changed after that.
Then Jamie calls her out for creating a now deleted TikTok series where she tries to expose a former boyfriend for abusive behavior, but was then caught lying, making up the ex and story completely just to get more views.
Not too long after that, she did her fake little series exploiting women's trauma and women coming forward to try to get views and try to get clicks, strategically making the videos over a minute long, each one of them, so that she can get money off of it with her fake story about a fake person that she made up for skits. Not a real relationship. It's all complete bullshit. Maybe she pulled inspiration from other places, but there's plenty of videos finding all the holes in her story that just don't make any freaking sense.
Later in the video, Jamie explains how she didn't want to have to come forward about Kyle, but felt like she needed to after Haley ignored her experience and is now using a dangerous person for content.
It's not something I wanted to do. I don't want clout off of it. I don't care if someone follows me for it or not. I just want to get the story out in front of people. So number one, people know who she truly is. Aside from her little skits and things like that, real, true stories, one-on-one personal stories, because they matter. And number two, I want people to know what kind of man he is and what he's capable of doing, because she is giving him a platform day by day. And I'm sick of it. I tried to keep it off the internet. I really did. And I'm not going to sit here and I blocked them, okay? I blocked her a couple weeks ago because I couldn't stand seeing the content anymore. And I felt like they both did me dirty at that point. And I felt betrayed by her as a woman. And that's just such a terrible feeling. And so I blocked her. I was like, you know what? He won. He won. I can't do anything. I'm powerless in this situation. I have to let it go. That is how I felt. And then I had to move. I was packing up my whole place. I had to move here, unpack my whole place. And then she makes her series. And then I'm like, you know what? I am going to tell my story.
Jamie wraps up the final part of the TikTok series by thanking everyone for their support and reminding women to be extremely careful about men and the people they're with, adding,
I hope that she is going to stop posting him now, but maybe she won't. So yeah, that's it.
At this point in the story, we still haven't seen any explanation or apology from Haley, and we're caught up on everything that's happened so far. Why HaleyyBaylee, the former model turned content creator, was called out in a 3-part TikTok series where another creator, Jamie Stone, exposes her for knowingly platforming a terrible person, with Jamie explaining Kyle's history of manipulative behavior, which includes ongoing cheating and lying about having an incurable STD. But now that you know pretty much everything about this situation, let me know what you think, along with any story updates or things I missed down in the comments. If you want to get caught up with even more internet drama and news, subscribe to either channel to catch the next story, and check out any of my recent videos. Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end, and I'll see you in the next one.